Hello and welcome to Higher Thinking on Higher Ed. I'm Charlene Carrington, Communication Steward and Strategist. Excited to continue diving into the biggest trends, the common challenges, and the most effective solutions encountered by communications and marketing leaders in higher ed. I am honored today to talk to Raisa Afrida. Raisa is the Director of Marketing and Admissions at MCG Career College, where she leads with a passion for community empowerment and inclusive education. With over a decade of experience in sales and marketing and sustainable business growth, she's also the host of MCG's Legacy podcast, sharing transformative stories that inspire and uplift. Thank you so much again for bringing your expertise to this conversation. And also, I'm hopefully to get some good tips from you as well on your podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Charlene. I am so honored to be in your podcast. I am doing amazing. It's Friday here. The weather is nice, and we had a very successful open house last night. So I'm full of energy, gratitude, and lots of sugar.
I love that. Oh, lots of sugar. I need some of that. So if you can send some through your email, that would be great. So I know I talked just a little bit about, your role just there in the intro, but if you can just try and set the context a little bit. Tell me a bit about your role at MCG Career College, and how your work in marketing and admissions really supports the broader mission of student and community success.
Perfect. Well, I have been in this college for past 3 years. Before working at MCG Career College, I was working one of the largest Canadian post-secondaries in the country, and before that, I worked with two big public institutions. I was in their business development team. I taught for a while, and also I was mostly in admissions and sales. Now, when I moved to MCG Career College, I actually did not know the name of this college. I did
Right.
not know who they were, what they're doing, and all those kind of things because it was a much like newer college. And
Right.
then I got to meet with the founders of the college, especially the CEO, Monica Chavra Gupta. And she literally stole my heart. And I've never met any founders of any college where they genuinely ask me questions about who I am as a person. Where do I see myself? What do I want to do in my life? What's my life goal? And they talked about why they started the college. They
Mhm.
did not ask me about, hey, how many millions of dollars can you bring in? What was the ROI of this? And, what's your
Right.
quarterly, blah, blah, nothing like that. They knew about my work through LinkedIn. So thanks to LinkedIn, I got my best last 3 jobs through LinkedIn. But also they get to know me and they get to tell me that they really want to create community leaders. And I'm big on giving back to community. I do lots of volunteering. And, when I came here as a new immigrant, lots of other people and non-for-profit organizations helped me.
Mhm.
So there was a magical click. And I said, you know what? I want to join the team. I don't care what I'm going to do, but I would love to join the team. So then I'm so lucky to have my mentor, Tim Ogilvy. He's very famous in the industry for his passion for private education. He's the one who found me through LinkedIn when I was working in public education industry, and he brought me to private. And when I moved here, he also moved here. So I still have my mentor with me, who's my
That's
ex-boss.
excellent.
He's still my current boss. And we together, we do everything and anything that helps the college. I am not attached to my title. It's just a title. We do everything and anything. That means some days we're working with the government officials, with the ministry.
Right.
The next day we're mopping the floor to make a content. The next day we are in the community doing volunteer work, cleaning up garbages from the river, or we are in Pride Parade. So it's everything because we love the college. We really believe in the values of the college.
That's such a robust answer. I got it. It's great. Like I got so much from just getting a good understanding about how you yourself are so tied to the mission and the values of the school, and that your role, as director is so far reaching, and this idea that even the smallest tasks are kind of bringing your institution forward in its own way. And I pulled out a lot of what you said there is just this idea about the community outreach piece. So it seems to be, and you correct me, if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but it seems to be like there is a strong importance, let's say, a strong value on creating not just a student experience, a university experience, but connecting the students to the community. Is that something that you feel is driving your enrollment, let's say, or driving, the culture as a whole at the university
Absolutely.
or the
You know
college?
what?
Sorry.
The name of the college also resonates a lot about community because MCG stands for Monica Chavra Gupta, who is the CEO of
Okay.
our organization. However, our mission statement is making communities great. So
Okay.
MCG stands for making community supporters, and a big part of our culture is really thinking about, okay, if we have programs like sonography. We're the only private college in Alberta that offers sonography diploma. We have architectural technology, medical office administration, massage therapy, global operation. We're working on getting some new programs which are going to work with like a community, a work support worker, a mental
Mm.
health. We're also working to get nursing and this kind of program. All the programs that we have, we always train our students that how you can help the community. And
Right.
every single employee, we actually do tons of volunteering. I mentor new immigrants. Our CEO also does that. My boss does that. Everyone that we have here, they're doing some sort of volunteering, whether it's a sports team, whether it's a non-for-profit organization, human society, food bank. We are always out there. And Charlene, I do want to tell you that the mission statement is not just a statement. We actually follow it through with our work because if someone doesn't have money to get education, they can come to our college and they can pay up to 100% of their tuition through volunteering. They can volunteer
Oh,
at any like food bank in Toronto. We have students in Ontario. We have students all around the country. They can go to
right.
any registered non for profit. For each hour of their work, we give them $25 tuition credit, not the minimum wage, $25 tuition credit. So we have so many students who have paid absolutely $0 and they got educated and they're out there in the community as a healthcare worker and different fields and they got their education, like a college diploma. I
That's amazing. I have never heard of that model, and
know we're the
that
only
is
college.
interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that. That is real. Well, you know what? I feel like that speaks very much so to the value and even just building a brand for this college and connecting it to the your mission, but of course to your broader community. Thinking that or keeping that in mind, I'm thinking about some of the major shifts, you're seeing in, career and vocational education space. How are those shifts kind of shaping how you reach and how you support prospective learners?
What we are seeing lately after post-pandemic, I would say that
Right.
people actually were very scared about online learning and they fell in love with it. So a lot of people found the perfect balance between work life, family life, and going back to school, all doing it full time, but from the ease of their home. So we do see most of our student asking for distance learning and the ones that is it's like you have to be in person. Definitely those programs are in person. For example, sonography, for example, massage therapy, right? It's very hands-on and technical. So these things, I can see that we're seeing a great balance between work life and school life. People are not struggling too much to do their education. They don't have to sacrifice their career to go back to school.
Right.
It's like there's no stop or there's no coma in your life. You just full blown going on and you can balance both. That's one big shift I can see. A couple of other things that I would say, because as a director of marketing and admissions, we are using a lot of new technologies. For example, our
Right.
CRM system is, we are using Campus Login. It's very famous actually, with great exposure. That's the company that we are working with. They have amazing CRM tools. If we have appointments set, they're getting um, like reminders, they're getting
Mhm.
feedbacks. We can record our sessions, our conversation. We do lots of documentation, signature, and so many things. These are all done online and very smoothly. I do see a big change also in our marketing strategies, because marketing was very time consuming, creating all the contents and stuff. We're still
Right.
doing those things, but we have gone from, when I started, there was like 2 to 3 students per month. Now we're moving towards, the number is 100 to 150 students a month. We're starting. And when we do that, we do lots of student engagement. We do lots of contents. We do lots of replying to text and messages that's coming through
Mhm.
social media. And we're all doing those things with using lots of AI tools. But I do want
Yeah.
to say that our contents are 100%. You will see that genuine faces. You will see our faces out there.
Right.
But because we have tools that helps us edit our content, create some scripts, come up with subtitles and so many other things like editing the photos, those things we are using the top-notch AI tools. Some of them are called like Icon. We are using Chat GPT, DeepSeek. Those kind of things are there as our everyday tool. There are also things that I see a shift in students looking for genuine storytelling.
Right.
I have worked with huge colleges where most of the contents were stock photos or,
Mhm.
boring paragraphs and blogs and articles. I'm seeing that no, these days people get attracted to seeing real students. How is the day in life of a sonographer, something like that, right? People love to see what we do at work. We are having surprise parties. We are doing all those events. We are doing Holy Festival, Christmas, Halloween, those kind of things. And the students love to see that, what type of college is this? Who are these people? Who is the
Right.
founder of this college? And once we show this genuine, authentic content, people absolutely love it. And we get so much engagement. Actually, currently in Calgary, we are one of the topmost education institution with the highest amount of engagement on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Our
that's great.
growth in follower for social media is skyrocketing. We have a content that went viral and have more than 100,000 views. And after that, there's so many contents we're making that's very relatable, that people are sharing it. And again, we're going viral. So it's in a very positive way that I never could think that I would work for a college and we would have so much fun at work.
So you were just about to jump into some of the negative shifts that you're seeing as well.
Hmm. Well, as much as I love my work here, and I'm every day waking up with excitement to go to work, which is very rare. Again, before the podcast, I told you
Yeah.
that MCG College has been the best employer I had in my life. So, that's a big deal. But I
Thank you.
noticed there is a misconception right now in the industry that private career colleges do not offer really good education, or it's
Right.
better to go to public. I do not agree with that, because not everyone can do 9 to 5 classes in person, and sometimes public institutions have limited seats. And these type of things, when as a new immigrant, when I came to Canada, I also had this conception that, oh, if I want to get educated, I must enroll myself in the university. And I did, which costed me a lot of money. Whereas I saw some of my coworkers who went to private institution and got their education done within 1 or 2 years, was, working, making a lot of money while I was still, doing my undergrad. And it took me almost close to 8 years to finish my undergrad because I was working full time. And then I went back to school to get my master's done, again at a university. Plus, it's very expensive. Not everyone can go to public institution when it comes to universities. If you look at colleges, there are amazing people out there in different public institutions. But as I taught at a public institution here in Calgary, I could see that the amount of commitment you need to do, like you need to be there in person most of the time.
Right.
The classes are between 9 to 5, so it's hard to have a full-time job and have classes every day. I saw that thousands of people, their lives got changed through this private education. One of them is my own mom. When I was
Wow.
working at a different college in my previous role, I actually told my mom that, hey, I get to see people who are in their 50s and 60s. They're going back to school at this age and finding a new career. And
Mm-hmm.
she was saying, like, you know what, that's amazing. And she got herself into the same college, and she was in the dean's list, and she finished her
That's
business diploma with honors. Yeah, I was so proud to see my mom walk on the stage. Normally it's the other way around.
right.
I literally had happy tears when I saw her walking. And every year I cry with happy tears when I see thousands of adult learners becoming
Right.
care workers, becoming nurses, becoming, like, the labor force is made of them. So I really want to tell people that, hey, you know what, give it a try. Go to the associations like NACC.
So thank you. I'm glad you're still here with us. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're working around it, and that's what we do. I want to touch on a few things that you said as you were talking earlier. And one of the things was this idea of, you know, getting around the kind of the reputational shift, right? Really trying to nail down who your audience is, knowing who they are, but getting their minds to really shift to the idea that, you know, this is a viable option for their future. And what does that look like in terms of like from a marketing perspective? What does that mean and how you roll out some of the activities or some of the outputs that you do?
Well, I think the first thing that we do is we must do a good work for our students and help them find their future career by providing a quality education. And if we do that, word of mouth is magic. Our
Right.
30 to 40% student comes from referral. And I've never seen that happen in any other institution I've worked. When students enroll here, they are so happy that they tell their friends and family about their school. And that's how we grow. That's number one. Number two
Right.
is putting the word out there. That's what I'm really working hard on. I always collaborate with lots of community partners. Who are they? These are non-for-profit organization who are at the front line helping people with either when they're a newcomer in the country, how to find
Right.
job, where to go to school, or where can I find some clothes that I want to wear in for an interview. There's so many non-for-profit organizations that are doing a great work. We work closely together with them. We collaborate with them. We listen to them, that what people are asking for, and we
Right.
try to build our program in a way that actually helps these adult learners about what they're looking for. We also
Right.
listen to the government. Whenever the government is telling us, like, hey, right now we need more tradespeople, we need more healthcare workers, then we create a program that meets the government need. We also
Right.
do another thing, that is we try to collaborate with other private colleges so that we create a positive name. Because if you're fighting with each other, like, you're not
Yes.
united and you're not strong. But when you're working together in a harmony, your voice is louder and you're out there, right? So I am really trying hard to make that happen. And I have a great team. So it's not just it's we who work on
Mm.
it. And the last thing that I would say that it has helped a lot, which is our social media.
We are big on social media. We're always posting, educating our learners about all the resources that they have. We're educating them that what to be aware of, because there are some bad apples out there who may exploit the learners, right?
Of
So we
course.
educate them about, hey, look for the program price on website, look at the admissions requirement, check out the reviews. Are these real reviews? Look at their Google, go in person and see who are they? What's the story behind? Ask lots of questions. So we educate our learners so that wherever they go, whether it's our college or anywhere else, they
Right.
are, equipped with all those information to make an informed decision.
Right. I think that's such a great answer. And once again, so many little things that you said I want to quickly pick up on. So I want to ask you, what's really been landing well in your marketing and your outreach lately. But you mentioned a few things. You talked about social media. You talked about this idea of partnering with some of your other neighboring or other institutions around and building almost like a coalition, let's say, to kind of work together and move together. I wonder if there's anything else that comes to mind that's been working really well for you in your marketing and your outreach lately. And then I also wonder if there's anything that's been kind of an unexpected challenge in terms of, what you've been doing in your strategy.
What's working? A lot of things are working, thanks to God.
That's what you want to hear. That's
We,
good.
we are doing really well, so much so that we have three locations right now, one in Calgary, one in Red Deer, and one in Cold Lake. These are all in Alberta, but we are also looking into opening in Edmonton. We have been getting so much um, I would say like demand in Saskatchewan. So our next targets are to open new campuses outside Alberta. Um, what else is working is, I would say, genuine storytelling.
Okay.
We are very much out there. We're in career fairs. We are in different community engagement things. And when we are showcasing not only ourselves, but the people who are there, why they're doing this kind of things, it's really attracting people's attention. And, they're asking questions like, hey, I really loved when you guys did like Black History Month event. Can you please
Mhm.
tell me if there is a company where I can work at or something like that? So we get genuine engagement from our contents, and it's through storytelling. And we also give a lot of spotlight to our students who shares their own stories. And that's been the biggest thing, that it's storytelling. Like, people no longer believe in stock images and just,
Yep.
AI generated stuff. They want to hear from the people who have used our service, got our products and stuff, and then they want to make their decision. The challenges that I would say is right now, and with all due respect, I know that there's a big shift of like, weeding out the bad apples out of the industry, and
Right.
also making sure that the funds are properly utilized. So we have a cap right now from our Alberta student aid, that a certain amount of students can get the government funding. So that
Right.
has been a little bit challenging, but you know what? If there is a will, there is a way. So we are currently working with triple funding option, which is third party lenders. We have non-for-profit organization like Windmill that helps newcomers get funds for school. We also have payment plans, and the best thing
Right.
is the volunteering. Like, hey, if you don't have money, go volunteer, give back to the
Volunteer.
community, and we will give you education. So it's been working like a blessing so far. But those are the only small challenges. So far, everything has been really good. Like, the industry is booming. I think people realize that education can empower them. And I myself have gone through a lot in my life, but all the time education helped me and gave me inspiration to move forward.
That's excellent. I actually didn't put that together before, and I haven't heard that challenge recently. The idea that the legislative challenge of certain policies being put in place by, the surrounding governments for good reason, but at the same time, I could
Mhm.
see how that would be a challenge for an institution trying to propel themselves and trying to grow. I wonder, thinking about that, I'm thinking about in general, what kind of student or marketing metrics, or even in this case, enrollment metrics, are you really watching the most closely right now? And how do you kind of define success beyond just looking at the basic numbers?
I would say we look at how many students are enrolling, that's for sure.
Right.
We have a very good conversion rate compared to other institutions that I've worked with. So far, this is the highest that I see. And we look at also graduation rate and employment rate.
Right.
It's a government mandate that we have to keep it above 70%. And I'm so happy to let you know that our program graduation rate is close to 100%. Some program, we're still working on it. It is around 80%, but so far it's been good. Those are the number metrics that I look at: graduation rate, employment rate. The another thing is time to get employment. We
Right.
try to reduce that as soon as like the student graduates. We don't say goodbye to them because we want to handhold them and we want to be their lifelong learning partner. So we
Right.
try to find them jobs, and we're looking at how long does it take. Normally, it's taking between 3 to 6 months, so it's not that bad. But we want to reduce it even more. There is also another number metrics that I look at, which is our referral rates.
Right.
Um, People normally don't think about that, but we notice that we get referral when we do a good work.
Right.
So the higher our referral gets, that means we're doing a better work. So whenever my referral rate goes down, I'm like, what are we not doing right that, people are not happy and referring us? So those numbers are very important. As I said, 30 to 40% of our students are through referrals. That
Right.
never happened in any other institution I've worked at. But I'm so proud that this is a good thing that's happening at MCG College. Now, there is one more thing that we look at. It is our student satisfaction rate. We
Mm-hmm.
do surveys at the end of our programs, during our programs. So we look at that and we try to ask lots of questions about the instructor, the material, the college itself, and their experience. And it resonates not through our internal survey, but also something external, which is Google review. Right now,
Right.
we are at 4.8 for our campus, which is really good. Our most of the reviews are very positive and they talk about how they feel. Most of the things here is that they feel like a family, and I
Right.
absolutely love that. I worked at very large organizations, billion-dollar colleges, but what happens there is sometimes you become a number, not a person, right? People don't know your name, people don't know your face. Here it's very opposite. Whenever there is a phone call coming in at the front, I could hear who the person is, and I would be like, oh, I know this student, I know her story, what's going on.
Right.
So it really feels like a family when people enroll here. And one last thing that I always look at is our growth. I always say that, you know what, there is at least 10 to 20% growth per year. That's my expectation.
In
And
terms of
that
enrollment.
in terms of enrollment and student
Okay.
population,
Got
but
it.
we have been doing way better than that. So we are doubling down. It is sometimes close to like 80 to 100% of growth we're seeing
Right.
year by year. So that's amazing. But we do keep in mind that we want to make sure we're inclusive, very inclusive when it comes to not only our employees, but student population. And I would love to tell you, Charlene, why I wanted to invite you to our grad event, because you know what? We have a person, the person is 82-year-old
Oh
and
my
she
goodness.
is our student. Yes. So we have students from all around the country, from different age, race, gender, and we're so proud of them. We always make sure that we're reaching out to everyone, from the indigenous reserves to
Right.
someone who's brand new newcomer to refugees. We have international students, and we have students from all around the provinces. So, yep, that's all.
And I'm sure finding stories like that, that's such a that's such a positive really impactful story that I think will do a lot. It will do a lot of the storytelling for you, right? Is being able to capture
Yeah.
that 80-year-old's wonderful story and share it in the right places and finding exactly what you said, really identifying your different target audiences and being able to tell all of those different stories authentically, I think is probably already working for you really
It
well.
is. And I do want to tell you that as part of our Making Communities Great mission, anyone who is above 65, they get free education from us.
Oh my goodness.
100% free. So if you know of someone who wants to just learn something new, whether they work in the field or not, whether they're doing to, like I have massage therapist who wants to heal
Right.
their partner or someone, or they just want to do this because they found pain relief through that.
Right.
And we never discourage anyone. Like age is just a number to us, literally.
That's right. And it really speaks to the idea that of, how enriching learning and education can be. I'm cognizant of your time because I've taken a lot of your time already. But my last question, it's a question I ask everybody, is the magic wand question. If you had a magic wand in your hand right now and you could wave it, you can wave that wand and you can solve, one major barrier in your work, whether it's an outreach, whether it's an enrollment, whether it's in, internal alignment, whatever it is, what would that thing be and why?
That's a very good question. You know what? I actually asked this question in during the interview when we
Do
hire new
you?
people.
Do you? Good.
This is
Love it.
really interesting. We have this in common. Um, well, what I see, it's because like I am a person of color, I'm a female, and I see a lot of women have a lot of hesitance to get into school because they are either, they have to listen to their husband or they have to take care of the kids.
Right.
They are not the key, I would say many of the times that they're not the person who has the control of their own life.
Right.
And they always have to listen to someone else and have to put someone else as a priority. So if I had a magic wand today, I would remove that, like lack of confidence or the barriers for women education, and I would empower every single woman with education. So I would do that, and I think I am still doing it with my invisible wand. Anytime I see someone coming in at our door, especially if that person is an immigrant woman or someone who is of my mom's age, I always make sure that my team has the time to listen to their story, their barriers, and always look out for the ways to educate them and help them to with every single step. So yeah, that's my answer.
That's a great answer. I mean,
Empowering with education.
throughout all of your answers, I think I really got that theme of, community empowerment and community involvement and community engagement. And I think that speaks to who it is you're trying to reach out to, but it speaks to the mission that your institution is trying to move forward or to do every single day. Is there anything else that's on your mind that you want to share before we wrap up? Anything else that I didn't ask you or I didn't touch on?
No, I don't think so. I just wish everyone all the best, and I want to tell everyone that, you know what, if my mom and dad can go back to school at the age of in their 50s, and one of them became an engineer, one of them is working in a business admin field, you can do that too. Like everyone can change their life through education. So I just want to inspire everyone that give it a try, go back to school, start something new, or just upgrade your skill.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, Raisa, thank you so much for sharing your time and your experience and your perspective with us today. It's been such a thoughtful and generous conversation. To anybody who watches this or who listens to this, I hope, this episode sparks some own ideas about your own creativity, your own experiences, some challenges you may be working through. This idea of really utilizing some of the tools that we have available to us, but remaining authentic in the space that we're in, I think was a very big thing that, you touched on as well. If you're a communications or marketing leader in higher ed and you want to continue to contribute to this conversation, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know, because we know these conversations aren't just talk. They really are ideally the start of a shared roadmap for the future of our field. So let's get to work. Thank you so much again, Raisa.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Charlene.